welcome back to my channel, Structured Living. I'm really excited to be doing this video because this is something that I only recently really started to get into. So I'm really happy to be able to pass that knowledge on to you guys. But before I get started into this video and what it's going to be about, I did want to remind you all about the cash giveaway. So in my previous video, I mentioned that I felt extremely blessed this past year and that I had been saving all of this money, but I felt like I didn't have a purpose for it. So when I started this YouTube channel, I thought that it would be a really great idea that every 100 subscribers, I would give away $100. And that's kind of a way that you feel part of this milestone celebration for my channel. So I would really love it if you could like this video, leave a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button for a chance to win $100. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's go on to the video. So you guys have been around long enough to know the difference between the two binders that I have. And if you haven't been, that's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and explain it. This binder used to be just a collection of all of the cash envelopes that I had, but I recently found a better way to budget for my husband and I. And that's by having a sinking funds binder, but also a cash funds binder. So you're probably wondering what the difference is between a sinking fund and a cash envelope. So I'll go ahead and tell you that. First of all, a sinking fund is like a savings, basically. It's a goal-oriented savings, and it ends up in a fund that has enough money to be able to cover a major purchase or a transaction that you might have. So you put away small amounts of money in anticipation of a bigger purchase later on. This can be done really any way. I'm starting to do cash, but as my cash starts to grow, I'm thinking of getting prop money or simply just writing in, okay, in the travel fund, I have $3,000 rather than having so much cash on me. Or you can, do it any other way. You can put it in a safe, in a savings account, cash like I am. But then a cash envelope is basically a system that was created by somebody who thought that spending cash helps you budget more. And I don't know if it's the psychology behind it, but if you have cash in your hand, you're more likely to spend less than if you're continuously swiping a credit card, which is a really great system for those who are learning how to budget. It's basically money that you would spend consistently. So for those of you who are new here, I'm going to give a brief explanation as to what documents I use for budgeting and how I break things down. So in my household, it's just my husband and I'm the one who primarily handles our budget. So what I have done is I've created two columns like you see here. And you know what? Let me actually make this, here you go, a bit bigger so that you guys can see a lot better. There we go. Okay, so I have my column here on the left and my husband's column here on the right. I have listed every single expense there is that we have throughout the month. There are some things that I've just kind of lumped together. So for example, fun money, I didn't break that into the different categories I have. So for example, self-care, fun, spending, so on and so forth. And then similarly, I did the same for my husband's. And then I have the total of our income written down here and how much each person is paying for what thing. So for example, my husband pays $500 a month for our household food budget. But again, I didn't break it down that food means groceries and eating out until down here where I have my budget binder breakdown. So my budget binder breakdown is these two right here. What do I consider to be a cash envelope? Like I said, this is something that you are using on a very consistent basis. So I have groceries and I write down the total amount here. So for groceries, because we budget monthly, mind you, I put in $400 a month. Then for eating out, that's another category that I have. And again, all of this money has already been allocated. I have our date money. I have social money, gas money, and that's all. And this is just where I put our receipts, because I actually like to scan my receipts on Fetch, but I'll explain that a little later for those of you who are wondering what it is. So I was thinking to myself that I was having a lot of extra money in the envelopes. I wasn't spending as much as I thought I would, which is a really great problem to have. So I've challenged myself starting this month, so February 2021, I've challenged myself and my husband that anything we have extra in these cash envelopes, we are going to be putting in our rollover envelope. So for example, if in the 4 or 5 categories, however many categories it is that's in our cash binder, we have collectively $700 left. I will take that $700, put it in the rollover binder, write down how much is left over for what month, and then put that money into our savings account. So it's kind of like an extra savings account rather than just having all this cash pile up and then go ahead and spend it somewhere else. I wanted to put that as an extra savings for us. So then we have our sinking funds, and those are in here. So you'll notice there's 2 different colors and 2 different fonts. And that's because I got this binder second and I wasn't even thinking about having a sinking fund. I just was thinking, oh, everything can be a sinking fund. But I decided to split it up. So we have my fun money, which is going to be used for the cash giveaway, by the way. I have self-care. I have my husband's fun money. Then we have medical bills. So remember, a sinking fund is where you put aside small amounts of money that, again, we've budgeted for a later on purchase, so or expense or whatever it is. And then we have a travel fund and then car maintenance. And this is something that I created a label for this, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put money or if I should just take it out at the end of the month. I talked about this in a previous video, but I just went ahead and created the label until I decide what to do. And so all of this money stays in these accounts, unless it's a lot of money, of course, then you can just write it in or whatever, until that purpose comes along. So for example, if we have travel coming up, my husband and I have budgeted $100 a month for travel. And you can see written here, $100 a month starting April. So if we decide that in July, which is 3 months from April, so we'll have approximately $300 saved up. If we decide to take a trip in July, everything would be coming out of that travel fund rather than having these odds and ends different things. So that's kind of a brief explanation as to the different things that you have when you are budgeting. So what do I like to use? This is the main thing that I use for budgeting. Like I said, it's our expenses listed out, plus how much income we have. And then we have our budget binder breakdown. And then I have my checks, and I get paid twice a month. And I broke it down for months that I have car insurance bills coming up, months that I don't have car insurance bills coming up. And then I have my husband's check and what is paid for per check. So for example, for the end of the month, we set aside our rent, food, date money, etc., etc. And then I recently created another document, and let me go ahead. Sometimes I feel like I'm so technologically challenged. I created another document that I'm really excited to be using because I think it'll be really helpful for seeing how much is actually left in each of these things. Because right now, every couple of days, I'm either counting or I'm asking my husband, can you count to see how much money we have in the date money envelope? And it gets to be really annoying. So I thought if I just go ahead, take some time, write it down, it'll be so much easier. So this is just the front cover, and it's just a paycheck envelope breakdown. I have one for every month. So as you can see here, this is for February. So I like to be color coordinated. I'm a bit OCD. For those of you who didn't know, I used to teach. So teachers are very organized. So here in blue, I have my cash envelopes and then the different categories that are in my cash envelopes. So we have grocery, eating out, date, social, and gas. And then here I have my sinking funds. So I have mine, self-care, my husband's, medical, travel, car maintenance, and then I just put taxes down here. But then if you'll notice, there's amount and current balance. So for me, I put in, let's just say it's $100 a month. I'll actually write in 100 for the amount and then the current balance in there. So I think last time I checked it was about $1,100. So then I would write $1,100. And every single time I'm adding, even if it's $1 or $2, I have to be held accountable for actually labeling it here in my document. And then if you look here, whenever I'm doing my stuffings, I'll actually put how much I'm stuffing in the cash envelope and how much I'm stuffing in the sinking funds envelope and then the total amount. It's just a really organized way so that I can see what is going on. And then lastly, the challenges that we're doing. So I wanted to make this a bright, fun color so that it could keep me motivated when I'm going through, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm tired, I just want to spend my money, so on and so forth. So under challenges, we're doing the $1 challenge, which is basically if you don't spend the $1 bill at the end of the month or whenever it is, you go ahead and write how much you actually saved, and then the rollover challenge and how much you actually saved. So like I said, this is for February 2021, and here I'm going to actually write what paycheck it is that I'm using. So if it's a paycheck from my side income or if it's my husband's end of month paycheck, I'll write it in there, and then I'll use this to check against my Google Doc here that has kind of the master list of everything going on. So I hope you found this video really helpful. For those of you that may want a copy of the documents that I created on Word, I would be willing to put it down below for you guys if that's something that you're interested in. So leave me a comment down below if you would like access to this document that I created. And thank you so much for watching this video. I can't believe that we're almost at 100 subscribers, which means we're approaching our first cash giveaway. So remember, like this video, comment down below, and subscribe. And I'll see you all next time when I do a cash stuffing video. Bye!